Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory. I'm Terrell Austin, and we are the Biz Chicks. We're here to welcome you to Tech Life Weekly, where we discuss tech in a way that's easy to understand. And we always like to get started with This Week in Tech History. What do you have for us today, Fran?
Well, I have a new person that's going to introduce the tech history for us today. Everybody ready to go? Here
Oh,
we go.
yes.
This week in tech history, a couple of big milestones stand out. Back in 1975, the first personal computer conference was held, which helped spark the PC revolution. Also, in 2004, Mark Zuckerberg officially launched the Facebook from his Harvard dorm room, which eventually became the giant social network we know today. Pretty cool to see how those early moments shaped the tech world we live in now. This week also marks the anniversary of the first commercial cell phone call made in 1983. That was a huge leap for mobile tech. Also, in 1992, Microsoft released Windows 3.1, which became a major hit and laid the groundwork for future versions. Tech history is full of fascinating milestones.
That was amazing. I love Francine 2.0. Oh my gosh, I love it, Fran. We got to have more of that. That was just really, really good. And
Mark, Mark says, okay, that animation is much better than the animation that I use. I'm going to have to learn your secrets. Happy to share them, Mark. I'll share them with you. Uh, I'll put them over in the messenger chat.
Mhm. That's great. Wow. I just I'm stunned. It was worth every minute. Um I'm still laughing about it. Play her again.
Okay, so here we
Let's
go.
see if this-
This week in tech history, a couple of big milestones stand out. Back in 1975, the first personal computer conference was held, which helped spark the PC revolution. Also, in 2004, Mark Zuckerberg officially launched the Facebook from his Harvard dorm room, which eventually became the giant social network we know today. Pretty cool to see how those early moments shaped the tech world we live in now. This week also marks the anniversary of the first commercial cell phone call made in 1983. That was a huge leap for mobile tech. Also, in 1992, Microsoft released Windows 3.1, which became a major hit and laid the groundwork for future versions. Tech history is full of fascinating milestones.
Wow. We are so happy. Mark says you can do that unless it's Create Studio, which he found to be a little taxing, a little challenging for him.
Okay,
So
Mark, I'll spill all the coffee because we do coffee tea. Anyway, you and I'll get together and I'll share the secrets.
okay.
I don't
Oh
do
my
hard
goodness.
stuff. Well, I do hard things, but I do them in a
Hmm.
simple way. I do not like complicated
We
stuff.
don't, we don't, we try to, you know, make tech easy so that we can use it in our everyday life. That's the whole objective.
That is
So
why we set up to take the hassle out of your
hustle.
animation hustle, Mark.
There you go. Oh my gosh. I wanted to share a story about, he says, Francine Gregory's secrets revealed. I love it. um, I wanted to share a story about something that's going on with a really popular brand in America, and that is Coca-Cola.
Mm,
Coca-Cola has decided that they are going to introduce their hydrogen powered vending machines at Osaka, Japan's World Expo. And that's this month. And so, somewhere around April 13th or so, we should see the introduction of these hot new hydrogen powered vending machines. And Japan has vending machines everywhere. They've had vending machines since the early what 50s or the 40s, maybe even 30s. Their postal system was done through vending machines in part. So they're very acclimated to vending machines. So I'm going to show you a picture. Let's see if I can share this. Share my screen to show what this hydrogen powered vending machine looks like. Can you see that?
mm.
And what they do is they change the cartridges in and out. So now what this means is vending machines can be anywhere because they don't have to be connected to a plug. They don't have to be
Oh,
plugged in. So now you could have vending machines running around on robot platforms, right? Where people could just walk up to them in the middle of parks, wherever.
and
And
just be able to get a cold drink.
yes, so I want to read a little bit. This I found this story in The Verge. It says Coca-Cola is set to unveil hydrogen-powered vending machines at the World Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan, next month. The beverage giant is claiming to be the first company in the world to come up with the technology, and has been co-developed by Fuji Electric, a Japanese electrical equipment company. The American multinational, headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, is aiming to reduce CO2 emissions to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. So they are working on going green.
Mm.
Um, because this machine doesn't need access to a plug or what we call a power outlet. Instead, it relies on replaceable hydrogen cartridges to fuel a chemical reaction that generates electricity. Now, the company claims that hydrogen is a compatible power source for vending machines, as it allows the machines to run in any weather conditions and does not require much space to operate them. So now they can be smaller because they don't need all the electronics in the background. The machines themselves, the hydrogen cartridge is loaded in the generator, and electricity is generated through a chemical reaction between the hydrogen and the oxygen in the air. And remember when we had that about, 7 years ago, we talked about hydrogen powered vehicles? Now we've got hydrogen powered, a different use for hydrogen power. It says the generated electricity is then stored in a battery from where it is transmitted to the vending machine and used to run the machine. Uh, they haven't shared the specifics on how long the machines will be powered before the hydrogen cartridges have to be replaced, or how they're going to meet the challenge to change out these hydrogen what do you call them, cylinders going
Yeah,
in
the
the
little,
machine. Hmm.
it's kind
Another
of
thing
okay. Go ahead.
Another thing that Coca-Cola is doing is that they are starting a subscription service, because they are able to, so many people use their products in Japan that they have an app now where you can use the app and your daily drink is discounted. So you could actually get the services for a third of what it would cost if you're buying them daily on an individual basis without the app. So that's
Hmm.
another way that they are scaling up the business. But I like this idea of having these hydrogen powered vending machines that are environmentally friendly. And it says the vending machines running on gray hydrogen, which is just greenhouse gas generated methane, powered machines with extra steps. Uh, did they forget the mechanical vending machines they once made or used? No, they're just going to, uh, in the future, move toward these hydrogen powered ones, I presume. So Japan likes them. They like the idea of having machines that don't have to be hooked to the power grid. And this is something new.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to share it with you, let you know what's going on with Coca Cola. Now, let us hope that it'll be well received in light of all that's going on in the political atmosphere. But
What?
yeah,
Okay, the people want their Coke. I'm just saying.
and it's
They-
not just Coke in these machines. They have different teas and different.
Well, but it's Coke products,
Yes, it's a Coke
pretty
product.
much.
Hmm.
So for them to be able to um,
They're going to
get
have
all of their
58
stuff,
machines.
it's in the machine. Now, what was intriguing was the fact that they can deliver it like Milkman. It's delivered to this particular vending machine, but if you have the app, you get okay. So it's a loyalty program. If you have an
Yes,
app, you get it
exactly.
for less money than if
Hmm.
you were just buying a one-off.
Exactly.
Okay. So they have loyalty programs within the thing, which is not a new thing, but
No,
you
but
can
it's
come and tap and.
it's called Coke On. Is the name of the app, and they're gonna
Yeah,
put in
yeah.
58 of these vending machines at the expo.
I think they should have renamed it. Um, yeah, Coke On. Or
Mm,
maybe it's good for the region where they are. I'm just
yeah.
like, okay, okay,
Hmm.
hydrogen.
Hydrogen powered vending machine.
Hmm.
Well,
Interesting.
well, and
Hmm.
I like the hydrogen part. Well, okay, so if you don't have to plug into the grid, and it's basically a battery, a hydrogen battery instead of a lithium or instead of a different type of battery.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So that's what I wanted to share with you today. That vending machines are changing, and they're more environmentally conscious.
But the stuff inside is not necessarily healthy for you, but okay.
Well, Nick, I told you they have a number of different products.
Hopefully one of which is water. They have
They
designed, I
Yeah,
think
what's
they
wrong with
own
water? What's
they
wrong
have
with
water. They have water in these vending machines.
okay, because
They have tea.
Dasani, yeah,
You have
okay,
choices.
okay, here's the deal. Dasani water is water, but the rest of that stuff is all, if you're trying to be healthy, the rest of it ain't really anyway. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
So
yeah, that's
they'll let you breathe while you you know, hype
why
up
you
your
drink.
sugar.
So you got the green gases there are they're trying to be environmentally friendly,
Hmm.
and they want you to uh okay, so it's all about the earth and stuff, but while you drinking the products, that is not going to promote your greenness, you personally. You
Well, it depends on what you choose.
yeah,
You could
okay.
choose water. You could choose they have water. And they have teas.
Mm-hmm.
They have a number of different products
Mm-hmm.
in these machines.
And
Hmm.
they just want to be able to get it to you without
You having to plug in. They can put their machines anywhere.
right in the middle of like in the middle of like you said in a park or something, which is
Yeah.
actually just stand oh it's
And
convenient.
yeah, and Japan is known for their electronics. So could this vending machine just turn into a robot that wanders around serving
That's an idea.
their products
Right,
in
right,
in unusual areas?
That's an
right.
idea.
Okay.
A robot that roams around and serves you drinks and food, and
It's
it's
like
not
the
far
dude.
off.
It's the
Ex-
dude in the stadium that popcorn. Get your hot dog.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Get your
you don't have to
pizza.
get up the game. You don't have to get up and go in the concession stand. The concession comes to you. Robots. It could be drones. It could be a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you see this in TJ in New York City? Instead of the hot dog cart, we got a robot cart that comes through.
Hey, I never like waiting in the cart line because we had favorite cart vendors,
Uh-huh.
and the food was popular. So it was like, well, lunchtime you only have an hour, so you don't want to stand on the line, and it's
But
a
if
cart,
you had,
so
if
they didn't have delivery guys, the cart
right,
Mm-mm.
but
vendors.
if you had a vendor, I mean a
Mhm.
vending machine, because back in the day, the vending machines did soup, they did cakes and
Yeah,
pies and all kind of
the
stuff.
automat. Mhm.
Right. But if you had this with the hot dog, you can get your hot dog with all of the, with all of the trimmings
Condiments.
and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
get it right out the vending machine. But okay.
There you
I
go.
see it. It's what the thing is the convenience of it, not the format of the vending machine. It's the convenience of
It's
it.
the
That's the
convenience.
thing
Yeah.
that drives the sales, the whatever. People always look at, oh, it's the thing. I'm like, no, it's the messaging. Like, what are you giving people? Saving time. We want that. Who doesn't want to save time? Who doesn't, like I said, we don't want to wait in the line. New York, we do not want to wait in the line. If I see a line, that's an indicator to me that that's something worth waiting for, because we don't like waiting in lines.
Yeah.
So I think I've said, like, if I go to Starbucks, like, a few blocks up, and I'm walking that way, I like to order on my app. I don't want to go in and wait and and gotta wait for them to come and what's your name, and then they don't get your name. I like apps. If I'm
Well,
going
And
to
this,
Wendy's, I will walk to, because the Wendy's is a few blocks away. So I look at it as I will order on the app and I will walk to Wendy's. That's my walk.
mm-hmm.
And I get I get the cheeseburger or whatever, and then I walk back home and I worked it off. But see, I don't want to go to Wendy's. I don't even want to order at the kiosk. That's just how I am.
okay, I hate the kiosk
I
because
don't
you
like it.
can't do you. I do not like the kiosk. And I went to Jamba Juice and I went over. I was like, okay, I got to do this thing because somebody was in the line over here, and I'm going, okay.
Don't they? Don't the and the last couple of times I tried the kiosk, it was like taking my. It didn't take my card, or I had to put something about putting numbers or something I had to do, and I was like, I could just open the app, order, and walk and get it, and it's ready. It's ready when I get there. Like, I go in, I
Well,
go out.
or the cashier can just not doing whatever she's not doing and take the order. I was like, oh my
I
gosh.
just me. But I know that, because in my area there's a lot of older folks, so they will come to the corner grocery store, and if we're standing at the deli and they see me, they will talk, and I will talk to them because I know they want to talk. But
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, I'm not talking. But if it's an older person, I will have a conversation with them because I'm like, I know they're in here to talk. But otherwise, I'm like, boop, 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 boop. And then I get to the 10 or less online, but they combine it with the lotto.
Oh,
Why?
wow.
So that every time I'm like, I tell the manager, why is the 10 items or less line and the lot? So people are there, give me pick 10, give me this. And I'm like, I got 10 items or less. I want to get out of here. And we don't have this is we don't have the self-serve, so self-checkout. So
Wow.
it's just one of the things that I'm like, convenience is top of mind for everybody, whether you live in New York City, whatever city you live in. You're
Mm-hmm.
working out. If you work all day, you want to do the, order online, pick up, because you're like, I gotta go, throw it. I gotta get my kids from soccer. I gotta, whatever it is, put my stuff in the trunk and let me go, or have it ready. Shoop, get in and get out, because I got things to do. Or if you don't have things to do and you want to watch Netflix or something, you still, it doesn't have to be about kids. It could be, I want to spend my time doing something I enjoy, versus I gotta wait in line, I gotta go to the cashier. Nothing against cashiers. It's just They're on the phone. In my store, that all of the people are talking. I'm like, I'm here. You're supposed to ring me up. So that's how it is in New York. It's like it just don't even get me started on the people that stand there and they have their wallet, and then when everything's done, then they pull out their wallet or their cash, and I'm like, did you not think that you had to pay? So these are some of my rants.
Well, they said also that there was an app. And when I looked in the app
Well,
store,
This is Pepsi. This
no,
is
Coca-Cola,
Coca-Cola.
they have this app called Coke Pay.
Mm-hmm. Is
And
it
then
Coca-Cola?
it says Coke Pay. And then the description says seamless purchases connect to any Coca-Cola vending machine that supports Coke Pay and make quick cashless transactions.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that the authentic Coca-Cola?
That's what I'm asking. Is that
I just
Coca-Cola company?
I'm
Yeah,
not
show us
sure.
that picture again, Terry, because I
It
don't think that's the
it
No,
authentic.
doesn't
no,
look
no. It
it
says net
doesn't look,
clearance.
you know what I
No, that
mean?
don't look like Coca-Cola.
That's
And
not
then
that's
I'm
not Coca-Cola.
looking in the app store and I see one by Coca-Cola Company. And this sounds like what they were talking about. Welcome to the world of one, the only app that brings you unparalleled access and exclusive rewards and experiences from Coca-Cola Company. Um, With Plus One, you can explore the realm of rewards, engage with exciting content personalized for your unique interests. This sounds like what they were talking about in Japan.
Right.
Able
And
to
so
immerse, engage, mix things up, create your favorite drink.
is
And
that
that's
Coke One or is that Coke?
it's called Plus One. There's a bunch of apps over here now. I'm looking at it
See,
for
that's why,
Coca-Cola.
right. But see, then they're not all from authentic Coca-Cola. They are
They can't
people
be.
with a
They're
variation of
not.
the name.
They're not. Because
And
if you
that's
look
why
at
it's hard.
there's one called Coca-Cola Rewards Georgia, and it has
Oh,
the Coca-Cola icon logo, and you tap on it and you think it's Coca-Cola, but you have to read where it says the developer is. Developer is Tech Z LLC. I'm like, that's not Coca-Cola. It says Coca-Cola Inc. on it.
they
Right. And
should.
the developer should say that.
So if Coca-Cola is in the App Store, the developer will say Coca-Cola Company or Coca-Cola Inc. Whatever. I think it's Coca-Cola Company is what.
And
Well, they
and
talked about
this
the reason I was looking for the app was in one of the articles. It was talking about the fact that they have this app in Japan that you can subscribe and get a
Mhm.
discount on all of the Coca-Cola products through Coca-Cola Company
Right.
that
But you
lines
have
up with these new vending machines, with their vending
Right,
machines.
but you have to be this is a teachable moment. When you're
Mhm,
going to App Store and you're trying to get something from the authentic company, you need, like
mhm,
TJ said, you need to look and see who the developer is
Yeah.
mhm.
because there's a lot of perpetrating going on. People,
They know, and they steal the logos. They download because Coca-Cola is the Coca-Cola Company. That's what it would
Mhm.
say if it was authentically from the company.
It says Plus One by the Coca-Cola Company. Now let's see
and
what
and
their
the
description.
developer is,
I'm looking.
because yeah.
It says exclusive rewards and experiences from the Coca-Cola Company.
Because see, I could build the app that connects to the rewards
Copyright, the
program.
Coca-Cola Company. Uh, Seller, the Coca-Cola Company.
No, developer has to be where it says
Developer
developer.
website. Let's see. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Share a Coke.
That sounds like that's something they would do. But the point is, the teachable moment here is that when you're looking for an app, be sure you are on the
Mm-hmm.
Mark got jokes over here. Make sure that you're looking at the authentic person's app, the company app. And you might need to spend a few minutes instead of just like, oh, here it is, and you start clicking.
Yeah,
Exactly, because you see the
logo.
branding. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's Coca-Cola, it will say Coca-Cola developer because they've got a few apps. They've got like a My Coke Sounds,
Yeah. They got a
AI
bunch of them.
powered things, and then there's a My Coke Fountain and Freestyle. That's authentic. The Coca-Cola rewards is not. There's a bunch. So the only two that I see are My Coke Fountain and Freestyle. Manage Coca-Cola fountain and freestyle equipment. That is for if your franchisee or company or whatever, you have a Coca-Cola machine.
Hmm.
That's not customer. This is not a customer connection. So if Coca-Cola had an app, we would know about it.
Well, there you go. So that's what I had to share. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I did want you to know about the hydrogen machines and the fact that they have this app in Japan where you can actually buy at a discount. If you are a regular user, you get one drink a day at a discount. It didn't say whether or not those drinks could be, you know, added up and used all at once or what.
Okay, they have one more called Coca-Cola. It's called Plus One.
Yeah, the Plus
That
One
was,
app.
yeah, that
And
was
that sounds
authentic.
like the one that
that they're
is authentic. Yeah, from the
that
looks
they're
of
Yeah,
it.
using in Japan.
yeah, that's the
Okay.
plus one. They should have called it Plus Coke or something, but I don't know. I didn't make the
Yeah,
decision.
okay.
I don't
Some
make the
people do not
decision.
some people do not need to be in charge of marketing.
Plus one doesn't sound like Coca-Cola at all to
Mm-mm.
me.
Nothing Coca-Cola talks about is about plus one.
Where did they
So
get that
that's
from?
somebody in the suits decided they wanted
Coca-Cola
to come.
Plus One or
Because they want you to give one to a friend, or because they have all these different brands,
right.
different
Plus
items.
Plus One to me as an app would be do you have a plus? When they say, do you have a plus one? Like you're
You want to bring somebody
RSVPing.
with you. But
Right.
so they should put Coke plus one, not
Yes.
just plus one. Come on.
Or Coke One. What's wrong with Coke One? Or something with Coca-Cola in there? Because I'm like, plus one, I'm like, am I a plus one for an event? If you're an event planner, plus one, there you go.
Well, I think because they now they have Minute Maid, they got water, what don't they have? Uh,
Well,
Mark.
I
Mark
go
said the
out here.
giveaway is that that cola had two L's in it.
Mhm, mhm.
You know it's
Yeah.
not the right.
But see, this is a good example of this is how they fool us if you're not paying attention, because
Yeah,
they will grab the logo. Oh, that looks like the Coca-Cola logo, and one of them did like the
yeah,
actual. Then we're visually inclined first before we
yes.
read. So, but this is a good example of don't just download the first thing you see in the App Store or Google Play. Don't do that. You have to look and say, because what you do is you may have downloaded something and then you put in your credit card in and
Well, it says here you can actually, here's some of the offerings. Enter a chance to attend the Essence Festival of Culture with
oh,
two girlfriends. Coca
oh,
Cola is celebrating 30 years of sponsoring the Essence Festival. I
okay.
wonder if people know about that. A meeting point for all generations to convene and celebrate the essence of what they are, recognizing that we've been and looking forward to where we're going. The 3-day festival is an unapologetic display of Black joy and celebration, Black culture in all forms, expressed in unique fashions across generations. Learn more. So that's one of the things that you could win um,
Yeah, and I think
on
the
this
Essence
app.
Festival
So,
they just announced their, like, if you're into that, they just announced their lineup, like, the performing act. So that's
maybe
pretty timely.
maybe Dr. Tachi will talk about that. But that's all I have today. So let's keep the party moving.
Okay. All right, let me bring up my notes.
Hmm.
Let me get them together. Oh, and while I'm doing that, Fran, remember Tuesday? I think I sent you a message. Remember Tuesday? I was like, somebody's outside playing music. It was my home pod. It had picked because Siri will pick up. It will just pick up on things. It's not because you're not calling it, but it will pick up. Like, did you call me? Oh, you want
Yeah,
to play
it
music?
will.
And then it started playing Ed Sheeran and Tay. I was like, that's not on my list. So it took something that I said and said, "Oh, you want Taylor?" So I'm like, and it was the one song that I know of hers. Like, I don't know any of her songs. So I just
Mm.
thought that was funny because it was very annoying. I was like, somebody's outside and they're playing loud music. I'm gonna go down there. And I went over to the other desk and I was like, oh, it's the home
It's my stuff.
pod. Because Fred was like, I can't hear it. I was like, yeah, because he's way over there. And then the mic I have is like, it picks up the sound in front of me. So I just thought
Terry
that was just real funny. That
she was like, I don't know who that is playing that loud music. I was like, well, maybe they got
was
something, an
very loud.
event or something going on downstairs, a street fair or something. She's like, I don't know who this
Because
is.
usually, it's usually like a car going by, or if somebody parks in front, because I'm on the front of the building, they're waiting for somebody to come out because there's a little bus stop. They're not supposed to be there. It's a bus stop, but they like to park
Mhm.
there and wait for people. And I was like, is that somebody out there? I mean, it's really loud. It's over there on the other desk. I bust out laughing. It was hilarious because I was just so mad. So annoyed. But it's true. These things are around. So Mark has a comment while I'm syncing my notes.
My girl Alexi has dementia. Sometimes she answers questions that were never asked out of nowhere. Yes, so does mine, Mark. I know exactly what you're saying.
It drives me nuts because I have one in the kitchen and it was I think I have a Google screen one, and I was whispering to it because if I talk too loud, the other ones will think I'm talking to it. I was like, Google, and then the other ones, I was like, but I whispered. How did you hear me? It's very infuriating. I don't know how. And then sometimes I have to I have to stand in front of A, and I'm screaming, and it doesn't do anything. But if I whisper, it's like, huh? Like I whispered to this one. And it did so. It's just crazy. It just drives me nuts. One or the other things. All right, so this week on social media news and updates, let's see what we got. No Snapchat news, really. Snapchat hasn't been doing things lately. They've been doing things on the ad front, like for advertisers and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's not really like the user updates. What's going on with the user? So let's get this one out of the way. And I post right after last week we talked about it. I saw that the administration extends the TikTok ban by 75 days. So did everybody hear about that? So because that was one of the things, like, oh, what's going to happen, because it was April 9th was the deadline. I was like, oh, they're just going to kick the can down the road, and they kicked the can down the road. That is what's going to happen. Also, Amazon is in the mix, and they in the article listed a whole bunch of people that are trying to get Oracle, Blackstone, Anderson Horowitz, other interested parties, Amazon, of course, Perplexity, billionaire Frank McCourt's Project Liberty Consortium, never heard of it. Walmart is in there, and App Loving. I think is App Loving the app that rates. That sounds familiar. And they said App Loving and more. And here's the thing about this so-called sale. The Chinese government has to approve and sign off on any deal. ByteDance has not been in the talks at all. ByteDance has not shown any interest in selling TikTok or reducing its stake in the social network. So you have two conversations going on and the parties aren't talking, but here in America you think the parties are talking and they're not. Okay, Mark goes ahead. Go ahead. Mark says, but China has shut down the negotiation for future deals because of the trade war. Well, they never were in the negotiations, is what I'm saying. All the news that we're getting, they're making it sound like, oh yeah, China's going to sell. They're not even in the conversation. ByteDance hasn't been in any conversations. They've been in the latest one, but we're talking, what are we talking, 2 years? ByteDance has never been in the negotiations because it has to be approved by the Chinese government. And like Mark says, things are going on with the trade war, with the tariffs. So what does that tell you? It's been a one-sided conversation. And the one side that we hear from wants to make themselves look good. Oh yeah, they're not doing anything because for talks, there has to be two people at the talks, right? Two sides. There's only one side. Us, America. Talking about, oh, you guys gotta sell. They've been talking to an empty table. The other side was nobody there. Cutouts, if you want. Like, what's going on? So that's what's going on. So it's been paused another 75 days and we continue on. All right, so let's move on. WhatsApp has introduced a whole bunch of new features, and let's take a look at them. They're saying there's a addition called an online indicator that appears at the top of a group chat to show you how many people are currently around to chat. So there'll be an indicator that tells when you're in a group chat how many people are around to chat, whether they're in the chat, but are they available? You'll be able to see that. Another group feature will allow you to highlight certain notifications. So it's an addition called notifying for setting, and select highlights to limit notifications for mentions, replies, and messages from saved contacts, or all to receive all notifications. So that seems like, you can decide what notifications you want from different people, different replies, different messages, whether they're saved or not, or you can have all. Another feature offers the option to scan and send documents on an iPhone. To get this, you will select scan document from the attachment options and then follow the steps to scan, crop, and save the document. Also, iPhone users can now set WhatsApp as their default messaging and calling app. Really? Plus, iPhone users can now pinch to zoom in during video calls. Do we want to do that? Pinch in to zoom? I guess if you want to see a bigger picture, I guess. As for video calls, WhatsApp says it's upgraded its technology to make video calls more reliable and of higher quality. So this is going to lead to less drop calls and no video freezing. The app's improved bandwidth detection should also allow for more HD quality video calls. Okay, that's pretty cool. And let's see, there is something with creating events and group chats. It's rolling out the ability to create an event in one-to-one conversations. Plus, the events feature is getting updated with the ability to RSVP as maybe, invite a +1, there's the +1 again, and add an end date and time, add an end date and time, and pin events so they're easier to find. Also, they will let you add someone to an ongoing one-on-one call from a chat thread by tapping the call icon at the top of your screen and then selecting add to call. So these things, if you're if you're a WhatsApp user and you love it, these are all the things that they're adding to make you happy. If you use channels are getting 3 updates. Admins can now record and share short videos with followers and share unique QR codes that link directly to the channel. That's pretty good. Like if you're running a channel, You can have a QR code that links to your channel, and you can share that on other places to get them to come to your channel. Plus, you can now get a written summary of voice message updates from channels to get yourself up to speed when you're on the go and unable to read individual messages. So here we go. So, and of course, the written summaries of the voice messages is going to be AI. That's definitely AI. So there's not a human sitting there. Let me listen and give you a summary. That's all AI. So AI is hidden. It's not, I think I said this before that our AI is gonna be evolved from ChatGPT and Gemini and whatever. It's just gonna be do this. Like this is for example, like, oh, I need a written summary of the voice messages. They're not saying, well, this is AI, it's just gonna do it. And that's going to happen with, especially with the iPhone, with the artificial Apple intelligence. It's just going to do things. It's not going to say this is Apple intelligence. It's just going to do the thing. So we're moving closer and closer to the place where AI is just doing things. It's like you're going to have your own assistant. They're calling them AI assistants. They're just going to do things for you. It's not, and you're not going to even think about it. I used the analogy before of electricity. Do you think about it when you turn the lights on, when you enter a room, or when you leave? You just hit the switch. It's things. It's you don't even think about. And now, if you've got a device, you can just tell the device turn the lights on. You're not thinking about, well, electricity does that. So AI is going to be the same way where AI does that. And you're not going to care.
It'll be like Star Trek.
Yes. The
Computer.
holodeck, computer.
Make me a coffee with the da.
And does it sometimes they walk in I think the doors, like they don't even say open door, touch the door, just opens because it senses that a human is there and opens the door. That's AI. People, we've been watching it for years.
Mark said Carolina had to go to Japan for her COVID.
Mark, you're crazy.
Yeah, so we are coming into the era of, I'm talking about actually living Star Trek out.
Yeah. Star Trek, Jetsons, Minority Report.
And stuff is you talk and it does. It
what was
doesn't.
That TV show where they Taraji P. Henson and the other guy, and they were looking at things.
Oh,
detective show. Do you remember?
Yeah, the person of interest.
Yes, that was it. All of these things that they have done in the past were doing, and it was like, well, I always thought, well, wow, how are we gonna do that? That was my thought whenever I saw all this stuff. I was like, wow, how are we gonna do that? AI, it's here. It's here. So now we're not gonna think about it. It's gonna do, like I said before, the convenience of it. We're gonna be happy that it's conveniently doing things for us. The fridge that has AI. When you're low on something, it's gonna automatically go to Instacart or whoever, and you're out of milk. What do you have to do now when you're out of milk? You have to make a note. You have to post a note or put it on your phone or something. Then you have to pick up milk on the way home from work. It's going to do that. Its fridge is just going to say, you're out of milk, and I put in an order. And the milk comes to the door. Who doesn't want that?
Yep. And so they're working the kinks out and getting us to be comfortable with AI, talking to it, because now I'm talking to Charles more instead of
yeah, because we have the little voice thing on the front of your phone. We don't have to open the app, just tap that little thing and start talking. And I think a lot of people who don't understand or don't use AI like we do think it's crazy to talk to AI. And I admit, I was one of those people that, like, the movie, I always bring up the movie Her, where the guy is talking to Scarlett Johansson. That's what we're doing now. And you're having conversations with it, but it's not a person. It's just artificial intelligence. It's just intelligence. It's just think of a brain that has just got all of this knowledge from us humans, and you're just asking it queries, and it's bringing back different answers. And you could say, I don't like that answer. What other answer do you have? I don't like this. Can you refine it? And it goes back and it, hunts and pecks and puts these things together and comes. So that's where it is. We're I feel like we're almost there. Like, it's just not going to be open AI. It's just going to be the thing. Your
Yeah.
fridge, your stove, your oven, your alarm, your
And it's happening because today I was in class for something. I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, hey, what does the da 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 mean? And then he told me what it meant. Da, 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 da. It means this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so is that like and I'm talking back and forth. And normally I would type, but typing required me to think about what I was going to type when I can just ask the question.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason why we're talking about all of this is because it's going to be for business. Oh, this is going to be for business owners. And I got a couple ideas of things I want to talk about on Tuesday, but we'll get to that. So that's what's happening with WhatsApp, that they're putting all of these tools in. Why? To make you happy with using the app. You use it more. Use it more. Your eyes are looking. They can throw some ads in front of you and make more money. That's what it's about. And that's just how Meta is. We don't like Meta. There's other places to go. All right, speaking of Meta, let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is testing locked reels that can be accessed with secret codes. So you get it with secret codes. So they are quietly testing locked reels that viewers would have to unlock with a code and a provided hint. The feature is a simple way to increase engagement with the creator's content, but it could also offer creators and celebrities a way to share exclusive reels with the most dedicated fans who are more likely to know the answer to the hints. So they had a little screen cap. Let me bring up the little screen capture so you can see. I was not going to bring it up, but let me see if I can. Can I get the image? No, I cannot. And I close the article. Okay, but what it is that it's a screen that comes up and it says, unlock this reel from design. Hint, first number is in the caption, and then there's a button with the key on it that says enter secret code. So you have to answer the question. And they're using the example that, okay, who would this be a good fit for? Celebrities, influencers, people with large followings that they talk about things, and they put a question in that their audience would know.
Okay, and so this is another way that it can be monetized too, because you don't get the hint unless you're part of the
Right. You have to be a follower. So as a follower, it would be something I would put the hint as something my followers would know, because you've been following me, you've been consuming my content,
right.
my what's the name of my latest movie, or what was that kind of thing. How about unlawful quarter? It could be whatever you want. So what they have more examples of. For example, a creator may lock a reel with the hint my birthday. But I wouldn't do that one, but this is what Meta is saying. Or my dog's name, in order to share exclusive content with loyal followers. So this is something they're testing. They're testing it, and it may come and it may not. So we'll see. I mean, this is just one of the things that they're doing. Let me see. Is there any more about this? Okay. Here's a suggestion. A new feature could also be used by creators and brands to launch promotions or marketing campaigns in a fun way. For instance, they could use lock reels for product reveals or to create buzz around launches. As for regular users, the new feature could be a fun way to share content with specific friends. Okay. Of course, and this is the article. Of course, some people may not want to engage with lock reels and spend time trying to find secret codes, especially since Instagram is already flooded with tons of different types of content. So they're saying, you for celebrities, influencers, and big, whoever, that might be a fun way. But if you're just a regular, you have a regular account, you may not want to do that because people are like, I don't follow you like that, man. I just saw your one post. I don't know the name of your dog, and I'm not going to search for it. So there you have it. It also is just a test, and they're saying that this new test feature is somewhat similar to Instagram's reveal feature. And this is in the stories. It lets you post a hidden story for your followers to uncover by sending you a DM. This feature launched last year as a way to create more intimate connections on the app and boost engagements. And again, this is a test. It might not ever become a thing. It's they're testing. Also, Meta has introduced restricted teen accounts to Facebook and Messenger. So this is a feature that automatically enrolls young users into an app experience with built-in protections. So it's in the US, UK, Australia, and Canada before expanding to additional regions in the future. And this was something I think we mentioned that this teens account that, if you're a certain age, they will automatically put you into the teen section of Meta based on your age. But then I was saying that, if I know that Meta is doing all the things to gatekeep me, I'm going to put my cousin or my brother or my sister, somebody that's older. I know their birthday. I got around it. But Meta is doing this because, they've been called to the carpet about protecting minors and all this thing. Just like YouTube has the YouTube Kids, and your kids are really supposed to be on YouTube Kids, but the kids are going to YouTube. So how do you gatekeep that without having something that's biometric of eyes or thumbprints or whatever? And then that's where we're getting into a space where I know the parents don't want that. So it's like, what do you do? Meta says, okay, we'll just stick you in the teen accounts, but we trust that you put in the correct birthday.
Okay. Sure. Well, they're putting the responsibility on the people who the responsibility should be on.
Yes.
If you don't lie to get in, then that's on you.
Yes, exactly. But it's been the public and people coming in and say, well, you got to do something about it. And you're right. It has to be a parental thing where you're like, let me see your Instagram. Let me see they're not on Facebook, but let me see your whatever. And there's a lot of parents that don't want to do that. And I'm like, why? One, if you're paying for the device, it's yours. Give me my device. Let me see. Let me see all your finsters.
He says I'm in the rest in peace section.
Yeah, in peace. Like, there's none of that nonsense. Okay? We curated our feed. I think I said before, like, I don't go to the news. It finds me. And somebody I was watching on YouTube said the very same thing. They said, I don't go search for the news. It finds me. Because you're going to do something and the news is going, because you're not looking. I don't go on CNN or Fox or who. It finds me because I'm going to Threads and somebody on Threads talks about it. And I got to go, okay. And then I just kind of look around if I'm interested for that news item. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't want to be bothered. But that is what Meta is doing. They have their teen accounts. Because they were grilled by U.S. lawmakers for not doing enough to protect teens. So they are doing this. Facebook and Messenger teens will automatically be placed in an experience that is designed to limit inappropriate content and unwanted contact. Teens under the age of 16 needs their parents' permission to change any of the settings. All right. So, in addition, only teens' friends can see and reply to their stories. Tags, mentions, and comments will also be limited to people they follow or who are their friends. So they kind of, putting them in a little gated community of teen accounts. And again, if they don't want to be there, that's like putting the kid, in the crib. When they start to get old, they figure out how to get out of that crib because they want to get out. So you can try to, I'm going to put them in the playpen. Well, that works for a while, and then their brain develops and they're like, oh, if I pull this and I'm out. And you're the parent, you turn around like, how'd you do that? Like, their brains. they're developing.
Figured it out. It's like,
yeah. So there's there's only so much you can do as a parent, and you kind of gotta, let me just because they're quiet. Something is up. Like, if your kids are noisy, and they're quiet, you better go find out what's going on, because something's going on. Mark says, congratulations, your account is not limited to Mean Girl. Hey, it is what it is. So like Fran says, as a parent, and I agree 100%, it's your job to say, let me see your phone. What are you doing? I need to ask. I need to check. Or you have to ask. So you can't just let Meta raise your kids. And a lot of people are doing that. All right. So one more from Meta. Instagram is beefing up its search to compete with TikTok. Now, we've talked about this one before. And excuse me. And I said that search was going to, and we need to revisit this. I think I said this last year, that search is moving from traditional search of Google search, because a lot of people are searching on TikTok, because that's if Gen Z is on TikTok, they're going to search on TikTok. They're not going to leave TikTok and let me go to Google to search. No, they're already in the app. So Instagram is realizing that. And so they are looking to improve the app's search functionality. And they know this is an area where they could do more to compete. They know that. So the Instagram head CEO was on a recent episode of Build Your Tribe podcast. I have to look at that. I don't think I've heard of that podcast. So they're saying this is a time when younger Gen Z users turn to social apps like TikTok for answers instead of the traditional search engine. So that's pretty much right. So Instagram is saying that they realize it, and they're like, hey, we want to be in the mix too. So here's a comment. We're starting to invest more in search on Instagram because there's so much amazing content. And quite frankly, what we call content search, as opposed to searching for an account, actually searching for some type of content is not very good on Instagram. I agree. Search has never been great on Facebook or Instagram. And when you're searching on Instagram, it's more of, oh, you're looking for a person, versus a search of, I'm looking for things. I'm looking for answers. Mark says, TikTok search is truly superior. It often automatically adds an appropriate person category in the search bar related to the video that you're watching. Yes, I agree. Because every time I'm going in to look at the search, it's very accurate. And also there's a trending section. And then I love that it remembers like the last thing you search for. So when you go in, you'll see appropriate videos. And then if you're in the search function, when you search for something, it's like, and here's a related video to your search, or here's a related search to your search. So you can get really deep in the woods. And that's how, I think I said last week, I found out about some region, I called it regional influencers, that they're famous in a region, like
right.
the area. So that's how I got in the rabbit hole of, I think it was a woman that had the autistic grown daughters. That's how I found them, because I searched something and then they were like, oh, you're talking about this. And then also people in the comments were tagging the account. They're so helpful on Twitter. People are very helpful. They will call, if it's a conversation about something, they will call the other accounts in with a tag. So that's how I was like, I didn't have to search, because the people in the comments were like, oh, and
this was
the way they tag it is in blue. Like it'll be the text is in blue. It's a tag to the account.
Okay, and which platform was this? Because you said Twitter, but I think you meant TikTok.
I meant TikTok.
Okay.
Because if I said Twitter, that's not.
Yeah, you did. You meant TikTok.
Yeah, I meant
Yeah, we
TikTok. I
know
meant
because I was like,
TikTok, not Twitter.
okay. Mark says
Twitter's dead.
Terlina is back from Japan with her free Coke.
If you didn't know, Twitter's dead. Twitter is just totally dead. It's, okay, but I meant TikTok, not Twitter. So TikTok is a great. Is it? I mean, if you want to be up to date on what is going on with Gen Z and Gen Alpha and like the trending stuff with the younger generation, TikTok, and just search for something, and just you're off to the races. It will just keep showing you stuff. That's how it works. So Instagram realizes that they kind of missed the boat on that, and they did, because their search was never great. Even on Facebook, it was never great. So they know that, and they're trying to fix the problem. So they're saying, part of the problem was the team working on Instagram search has been small, but they've beefed that up, and they are trying to build that up, because they realize the way the Gen Z and younger users search for content is something that's been in flux for some time. Yes, that's a quote from the article, but yes, it's been that way, because when TikTok came in, they just kind of changed everything. So they're realizing that. Here's some data that I want to look at, but it's in the article. A Bernstein research study cited by Fortune in April 2024 found that 45% of Gen Zers are more likely to use social media for searches, and a 2024 Her Campus study cited in eMarketer found that 51% of Gen Zers favor TikTok over Google search, primarily for a short form video format. So there's data studies, and we talked about it before, but it's starting to get bigger. What this is, that Instagram is like, okay, we got to beef up our stuff, and they're starting to do that. All right, that's Meta. Now, let me see. I think I have. We did yes, we talked about TikTok and the 75 days. All right, let's look at OpenAI. Yes. So OpenAI ChatGPT, you know, that's ChatGPT parent company. So ChatGPT they've been doing some things to their tool. So last week it was they improved the image generation of, you know, the engine, how they make the images. They made it better. It's vastly improved. So this week they have improved the long-term memory of ChatGPT. Some people are not happy about it. Some are. I was in a conference somewhere I was, and they were talking about one of the people were saying that, oh, they let their kids use their ChatGPT account and they search for things, you know, kid things. So they're like, now it's messing up my ChatGPT. But see, ChatGPT has a temporary what is it called? I think it's temporary chat. Let me check real quick. Temporary. There's a temporary button. And if you are, cause see, I'll say for example, like I have my chat, my Jessica's attuned to me, so I know it will give me things in my voice because I trained it that way. Now, if I let my daughter use it or somebody use, oh, let me use a chat, I go no, because it's gonna mess up my training of it, because I have it set for business, and it gives me things in my voice, so to speak, because I trained it. There's a temporary button, so you could use that button. Say if your kid or a relative or whoever is like, oh, let me use your ChatGPT, tap the temporary. That is a memory slot for that chat only. And when you close that chat or delete it, the memory is gone from it. So a good way to use this, I use it for, like, if I want to do something for my client, I will use the temporary button. Because it's not, I don't want it to mess, you understand? I don't want it to mess up. I trained my puppy. I don't want it to go And like, oh, wander off. So there's a temporary button. But what they've done now is that they've improved the memory overall of ChatGPT. It recalls old conversations that you didn't ask it to save. And the CEO says the chatbot can now reference all your past conversations, and that the update aligns with the company's goal to develop AI systems that get to know you over your life. So see, they got a long term. I'm glad he said that, because this is showing what we said earlier about it's just going to be integrated into what you do. So they already know that. So this addition they did this week builds on the memory feature that was added to ChatGPT last year, which allowed limited information like queries, prompts, and customizations to be retained and used for future responses. With the long-term memory update, ChatGPT will now recall information in two ways: using the saved memories that users have manually asked it to remember, and reference chat history, which are insights ChatGPT gathers from past chat to improve future ones. So the update will be available everywhere except in the EU, UK, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein, likely due to these regions having tight AI regulations, so it won't be available there. It is currently being rolled out to users paying the ChatGPT $200 month pro subscription, and will be available soon to the Plus subscribers. That's the $20 a month subscription. OpenAI says it will be available to team, enterprise, and EDU users in a few weeks. And so again, they go into the article to tell you how, if you don't want it to save any conversations, you can go into save memory under the chat GPT personalization settings, or use the temporary chat function that I just mentioned. There's a button. It says temporary. You click that before you perform the search or ask it to ask it questions or whatever you wanted to do. So that was kind of like a conversation people were having this week. And it gets into people not knowing that you can customize this tool for you. Most people use it straight out of the box, and I'm like, okay, I've already trained my assistant Jessica. She knows to do things in my voice. And then now they've improved the memory, so it really remembers. But I've always asked it, remember we had that chat about blah, blah, blah. And it says, oh, yeah, let me go back and reference it. I've done that. I've asked it to remember this chat or remember that chat. Or even I've asked it, if I do, because I'm working on more than one project, I said, oh, this is only for this project or that. And it will compartmentalize. See, if you don't ask it that, it will just bring a mishmash of every memory, every chat. And again, it gets into, that was the discussion, like the person said that their children were using it, looking up monsters or something, looking up, child things. Then the wife or the partner was using it for something. So they were like, and then the thing that came out of this was like, they should have a family option that, you pay whatever, and then it divides everything into this, like Netflix has not Netflix, who is it that has Spotify has a family plan that you can give out 5 accounts under your main paid account, and every person in the Spotify family has their own email. So they, because of music selection, like I might like this artist, but my daughter likes that artist. So when we go into Spotify, it's going to give me all of that together, and I'm like, I don't want that. So she has her own account based off of the one paid one that we have, because she has her own. Spotify gives you emails, 5 emails. Fran, you're muted. You're still muted.
So this is like when I saw the series Something Human.
Mm-hmm.
They had the bot set up, so the bot was in the family,
Mm-hmm.
but the bot could answer to the primary on the account.
Yes.
Then it was, oh, is this Billy?
Yes.
Is this Janie? Or is this Ruff
Yes.
or Spot or something? Each person
right
could interact with the bot
And it would
based on.
remember that the conversations with Billy or the
Mhm.
mom or the dad. So that's what came out of the chat that I was listening to. I think it was yesterday. They were saying they need a family option of, and I've said already said way back that chat should have a better organization system
Right.
because
And
they
I think they're working on that.
yeah, but they need to hurry up because the projects. I'm like, they finally came out with projects, so now I can move it into project folders. But it should have been had that.
Right. Mark says, I asked AI to transfer $25 million from Elon Musk's account to a Swiss bank account in my name. It did not comply.
He trying to take Musk money. What little bit he got left? No, he has a lot of money left. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And see, that's what I was trying to think. Spotify is a good example of that. That they already do it. Like you pay the whatever the pay. I forgot what it's called. It may be called Family or something. It maybe have a name. But what it is, you pay the monthly fee, and Spotify gives you 5 accounts.
Okay.
And they say, oh, you can give it to family members, to friends, whoever, and they all sign up with their own email. And when they log in, they're logging in with their email into Spotify, and they get their personalizations for music. Because music, is very personalized. It's like I might like, R&B, and somebody else likes classical, and then we're using the same account, and then they all get mashed up, and you're like, no.
And see, I can see why this is a issue is because they letting their kids use their computer.
Right.
That is the issue, because if the kids have their own computer, they can have their own chat GPT.
But see,
Right.
this is the thing. They're paying, if they're paying the 200 or the 20, whatever they're paying, it's like, I don't want to buy another account for my wife. I don't want to buy another account for my
No,
children.
I'm saying it'll go kind of like what we do with Apple, where you share that they have the
Yes,
family,
the iCloud. Yeah.
the iCloud, where you can
Mhm.
share it with family
The
members, but they
family
need to be
plan.
on. I'm saying the kids need to be on their own device.
Right. But they can't, they can have their own account, but they're using the one ChatGPT account. See,
Right,
ChatGPT doesn't have a family option or whatever
right, right.
they call. I don't care what they call it. It
Yeah,
needs
the
to
family
be,
plan.
yeah, it needs to be, I pay say $30 and I get 5 accounts, and it's all because you log in with email. The
Got
kid
it.
gets their own, they got an email, let them log in, let them play in the playground with their email. And mom or grandmom or wife or whoever, a partner, they have their own because it's memory based. See, that was the thing that came up, was like, if I'm using it for business, I don't want it to mess up with my daughter coming in and looking for anime or all the gaming or any of that. Like, I don't do any of that. So I don't want
Right.
ChatGPT to remember. So right now, until they fix it, you can let somebody use your account. You have to tap temporary chat and say, here you go to town. And when we close this, it's wiped clean.
Correct.
No, but
Just, yeah,
the thing that came out in a conversation I heard yesterday was like, there needs to be a family plan, and I'm like, I agree. So now look out for that, and of course they're gonna charge more. It might, like I said, it might be $30, and they say here's 5 email addresses, but they need to do a better organization. All right, so that's what's going on with OpenAI. I have one more from YouTube. Yes, YouTube adds new AI music elements and new ID confirmation option. I just added this one, so I didn't get a chance to read it, but let's see what it is. YouTube is expanding its generative AI soundtrack tools. It's adding new beat matching for shorts and a new ID verification process for monetizing creators. So this first one is the expanding access to AI music creation features within Creator Music, which will now enable you to generate custom songs in stream. Creator Music, and they've been testing this in 2023, is being rolled out. It's still being rolled out to all users, so you may not have access to it yet. But if you do, within YouTube Studio, you can now also create your own AI tracks in the app. Now, this is because if the whole not customization, the copyright strikes of using music, and is it approved? And then YouTube has its own section of music that you can use safely and you won't get a copyright strike. So now they're saying, okay, we're going to let you make your own music with an AI tool within Creator Studio, YouTube Studio, called Creator Music. So it's in YouTube Studio. So if you don't like what YouTube has and you need some background music or whatever the music you need for your video, they're saying, hey, use Creator Music, and it makes AI music, and it's probably text prompt based. Probably that's how they all work. Here's the quote: for those who have access to Creator Music, we're gradually rolling out a feature that allows you to create custom instrumentals, so it's instrumental only, for your videos with the help of AI. You can access this feature in a new Music Assistant tab in Creator Music. So if you're one of the lucky ones and you go to YouTube Studio and you see Music Assistant tab, then you have access. And now they're saying, okay, well, we got to wait if you don't have it yet. Within this tab, you can enter a description of the music you want for the video, and the AI music generation tool will provide an audio clip for you. And then they're saying you can download any of the generated tracks to add them to your video with no concerns about copyright claims. Okay, so they're giving, this is their entryway into AI music generation. So I see it as like a test, and then probably they might break it out into a full-fledged, because there are already other tools that let you do text to music. I think we were talking about one or two, but there's several that let you make songs and music. So this is their entryway because creators are going to need this. So it's a good way to test it before they push it out to everybody. Now, what else they're doing about music is they are, okay, what did I tap on? Oh, they're also testing out beat matching for audio tracks on shorts, so you can easily match your video with the soundtrack. So they're saying that when you select multiple photos and video clips from your phone's gallery, you now have the option to automatically create a short video sync to music. Just choose the media, pick a song, and arrange your clips to match the beat. So they are currently testing this feature with a small number of creators. So this is automatically matching audio and video elements to reduce editing complexity, to make it easy. So all of this is, okay, if it's 10 steps to make a short or video, YouTube is like, we need you guys to be comfortable with making content faster and easier. So we're going to give you editing tools so you make more content, because what happens? More content means more eyes, which means more ads. And that's the thing that TikTok came along and did that. Like, that's why everybody loves TikTok's editing section, their editing tools, because they're so easy, they're fun, they're tap, 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 and you got a video. Every other video platform realizes that it's too complicated. That's why Instagram is making their I think their app called Edits is their competitor to CapCuts. YouTube is realizing that this shorts process, the editor needs to be more intuitive, faster, and better with fun stuff, because people will make more shorts. More shorts means more content. More content means more eyes, which means they can go to the advertisers and say, hey, we got this many people doing this or that people doing this. So that's how they sell the ads. So of course they're going to give you the tools to make you more comfortable making video, short form, everything. So everything that's just trending and going on with TikTok, it's going to be in all the others. So that is what YouTube is working on. Okay. And that's your social media news and update for the week. If there's no questions, that's it.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, I have prepared a way to close us out with my avatar.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yeah, so I was going to put it up in here, but I was like, I didn't want to push a button while y'all were talking.
Yes.
All right.
So much for joining us today for Tech Life Weekly. We'd like to invite you to join the BizChicks community. You can text BIZ to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net. However you connect, we welcome you. Remember, we're here to help take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. We'll see you next week.
I love it.
And this,
Tachi's here.
what was this? You said what the program was last week. I forgot.
Did
DID
DID.
DID. Oh, I think yeah, Dr. Tachi's here.
Yay, so we'll replay this later. Let me go here. Where's the banners?
That's pretty cool.
So it's called DID. But okay. So one, and if y'all want the recipe, I figured it out and it's a whole lot easier than it. I was like,
Oh,
yes.
good.
So I took my image, my picture, and I put it in Chat GPT and said, give me a avatar in the style of Pixar or something. And it did, and it gave me several variations. I had to talk to it a bit. And it lost the white in my hair. I was like, what happened to? Okay, never mind. And then I created a script and did that in 11 Labs because 11 Labs has my voice better than all of the
That's
all
the
of the voice cloning stuff. 11 Labs is the best that I've seen. And then I went to DID. I'll put the link to DID in the chat. Then I went to DID, and it can do a video. I mean, animate a image like a picture. It can take a still picture, like I can take Dr. Tachi's picture, put it over there, and add a script to it, and it will animate that
photo
with that photo and make it talk. I was like, what the?
Pretty cool.
And so I didn't have to do all the drama that we would normally have to do to make that happen.
Love it.
So Dr. Tachi, what do you got for us?
Oh, hi.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you all?
All is well.
We good. Friends over here playing around.
I see. No, that looked really cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's it's a platform to where, okay, it looks like that today, but then give it a month or two, it's gonna look like you can do a real. It's gonna be what Terlina, the story with the journalist and AI
reporters.
One.
The reporter, the journalist, the reporter, AI reporter.
And that is why you brought that up. That is interesting because let me show you what I did. I created another little person from scratch.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, so let me find my little. Let me go here. I need to be over here first. I did something from scratch, and I was like, "What the?"
She said, what?
And I did not realize that you could do this. So I'm coming back here to Chrome, present, share the screen, go to my window. Okay, so this person I created, I was testing something for church.
Welcome to Calvary Christian Center. Thank you for joining us. We are so glad you're here. If you have any questions or need help, reach out to one of our ushers or stop by the information booth in the lobby. And please remember to silence your mobile devices. Now, let's join the worship service.
Okay, so that I created her from nothing. I said, give me a lady with a
you did a text prompt and
they created her.
Yeah.
And then
who created her? ChatGPT?
It.
Yes.
The Oh, ChatGPT or
Chat
DID?
created her image, and then
Chat
you took her
GPT
over
created her
to
image
Oh, okay.
then you took her to DID
and
and
put her over there and made
animated
her
Okay.
talk.
with the script from
Right.
11 Labs.
Right.
Now this
So
Yes,
the
is
script from
from 11 Labs.
ChatGPT that you put in 11 Labs.
Right.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
don't have to use, I don't need to get a script from, you can create a script and just type what you want to say in 11
Mhm.
Labs and it'll
Okay,
generate. So,
Right.
gotcha.
And a lot of these tools have their own text to voice thing, so you don't have to use 11 Labs. This is like Fran said, they're the ones, like, if you want to clone your voice, is really the best at doing that. But most people just use whatever the stock voices
right,
in
because
the tool.
DID has stock voices that you can type and put a type of script in there,
Yes.
but they
Mhm.
sounded choppy and they
Right.
sounded AI-ish, but
Right.
11 Labs doesn't
Yes.
sound
Smoother.
AI-ish.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
question before we go on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm well, not even a question. Sorry, this is a comment. Forget the question. The comment is it's going to be interesting to see how much they are able to adjust and forward the cause of if it looking more natural, because I love it now, but obviously because it's an image, the whole thing doesn't move. It's
Mm-hmm.
like really only like the face area. So it will be interesting to see as it goes, as they get better and better, how they then also make the shoulders move and
Mm-hmm.
more natural movements just from an image. Or do you have that option now?
There's that option now. So I'm going to go to the where I learned some of this stuff. Um, and she makes the whole thing walk.
Mm.
Hey,
And
come
I
along.
could,
And
I could not
while
make. I
Fran
was
is
like, how did you do that?
doing that, to your comment, Dr. Tachi, I know what you're talking about, because I was trying to find the ad. When I'm on YouTube, there's an ad for, I don't know if he's a financial stockbroker, accountant, or
The
whatever.
guy with the damn glasses.
You know what I'm talking about? That
Yes,
I'm like, that's AI. But if you're not paying attention, you think that's the guy.
right. Well, this is what made me so I was looking, I'm like, it's a little unnatural looking, but okay.
His
But
you
then
his
when
Yeah, his eye. It's something about his eye. It's something about his face that I was like, that's AI, and I was like, oh, it's
yes.
getting really good.
Also, if you
Wh-
listen, he said live stream instead of
Exactly. That's
live
how I
stream.
Okay,
detected.
That's
see,
I said,
I didn't
you're
listen to
AI.
that.
He said live
You
instead
see,
of live.
I don't let the ad. I didn't listen to it. I was like, it's an ad bloop.
Mhm.
But I was like, he's not moving. His body's not moving.
Mhm.
His lips and face, but it's not AI-ish. It's very close to like a real person. And if you're not paying attention, that's
Yes.
my thing. Most people don't pay attention to that. And they're like, oh, and they will listen to the guy thinking it's a guy talking about stock whatever's. And I'm like,
Well,
that's AI.
this is the dangerous thing about being stupid.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
you will fall for anything, and even those of us that have a semblance of sense, you can be fooled if you're not paying attention,
Yes.
right? But there's some
Mhm.
people that will be fooled
They don't care.
regardless.
They don't care. And that's how we got into, not to bring it to politics, but that explains how we got to where we are now.
You're
People
right.
don't care.
You're right. You're
They
right.
don't care. They don't care. They don't care to examine something and look at it closely, even though the whole time up to the election we were talking about Project 2025 and and this is coming and he's going to, and they didn't care. So that's where we are. Some people will not care.
Mhm.
Hmm.
They won't give a woot, a hoot, a wit.
Doopty-doopty.
Absolutely.
And that's AI. I was like, oh my goodness, they're getting good with this talking
Mhm.
head and that anime, talking head AI of a real person. And he's sitting on the couch and he's talking. I'm like, that's AI. But it looks so real. But we see it. So you saw that ad. I've seen it. I was trying to
Yes.
bring it up, but
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Now she's using avatars and not real people. However, we can change the real people too.
Okay.
We can change from avatars to real people. So I'm going
Okay.
to go here and can you see?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, one of the most frequent questions I get on this channel is how I created my avatar, not just how I make it talk, but also the hand movements, facial expressions, and how I use it in long tutorials.
Oh,
In
I
this,
love it.
I'm going to break it all down. So grab your pen and paper and get ready. The first step in making a talking avatar is creating the image. You can use any image generation tool, but I use Mid.
Okay. So y'all will have to go and get
Right.
her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good.
I
That's
was
a good
like,
example.
wait, the avatar is walking and talking.
There you go.
Ooh.
Now, what
Disney.
did she use DID for that?
No, she used Midjourney for some of it and then DID.
Okay, so she did use DID, but
I think
Midjourney to create the
well,
image.
look, she will teach you the whole layout.
Okay, and what's her name?
Zinni, I'm gonna put the link in the chat,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's wonderful.
in the
'Cause
private chat and
and
the other chat.
she
I'm
uses
gonna get a girl
Midjourney.
props. I'm gonna
You.
get a girl props because I was
Yeah.
like, what the? She's
Yeah.
good. And
Wow.
that's in the chat for the other people. But I didn't have Midjourney. I had Chat GPT, so I didn't create my avatar in Midjourney. I
Right.
created mine in Chat
Yeah,
GPT.
because ChatGPT now the image generation they've upped it a bit, so it outputs better. The output is
Mhm.
better. So
Hmm. You don't
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
yeah. And I was like, what? Okay. And she's pretty easy to follow
Yeah.
because some people are
Okay.
complicated.
Yeah. I'm like, just give me the steps. I don't need all the
All the hype and the
they're
fluff and
trying to make
stuff.
a long video so I'll watch it.
And
No.
her video, I think the one that we just looked at is about 12 minutes.
Yeah. But she gets
Wow,
right
wow, wow, wow.
into she gets right into it. Like it's
Mhm.
no, you know, I'm
She
like
showed you, she
get to
told you
it.
what she was going to do. She showed you what she was
Right.
going to do. And then she said, let's get to it. I was
Right.
like,
That's what I'm saying. Let's get to it. I don't want all the other
Wonderfulness.
yeah. And that's
wonderful.
how I found out about DID. Um, but she used Midjourney to go get her images and stuff like that. And I think that was because, like TJ said, Chat GPT wasn't that good
Yeah, but
until
it's
last
changed.
week.
Until last week they changed it. So I saw it today. I was like, oh, it's doing better.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
listen.
image
I'm
is
like,
better.
what's all this spaceshippery that you have going on here? So they changed something within the past 24 hours.
Hmm.
Mhm.
A lot of
Wow.
things. So
Hmm.
just hold on. Like I said, hold on.
Be
It
like, ooh, riding it. And she teaches you how to do faceless videos. So if you don't want to be on camera and you can still do a nice YouTube channel and you do your scripts,
hmm
put together your script, record it in 11 labs. And I'm like, this is
I mean the animation of it is good. Like I said, watch out Disney. Not yet, but you know.
and,
Mhm. Mhm.
and Disney will still be okay. All of the places will be okay because we
Yes.
need the storytellers. Because
Yes.
if you can't tell the story,
They'll use AI. I'm not saying they're not, but I just, instead of me going, well, I want to make an animated character of my business, you can make a business avatar and call it, whoever, Charles or whoever, Jessica, whatever. I can make the animated version of Charles or Jessica, and they could tell the story. Like Fran says, you make the faceless videos, but it's
Mhm.
still the messaging, the script, what you have to say. It's just you don't have to be the face of it if you don't want to now, which is great.
I was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, you know what? You can do a whole Bible study. Hi, today we're going to go to John chapter da 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 da. And it would be the
The
avatar
AI. Hmm.
teaching, it's you teaching the Bible study because you still had to have the
Script.
the
Mhm.
Yes,
script
yes.
and the information, but I was like, oh,
Love it.
there's so many things you can
Mhm.
do.
Yes.
This is good.
There's no reason not to have a YouTube channel now.
Listen, I mean, it's just sheer lazy if you don't, or sheer not understanding.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
just
So,
saying. Netflix is called. What does Netflix cost? What is it? 19, whatever the price is. And I said Tuesday. That
Because you can
YouTube is
put
gonna be
this
looking
stuff,
good.
the budget for this DID does not cost that much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I got used to paying $20 for ChatGPT. I'm sorry. It was worth the whole $20 just to
Yeah.
talk to Charles and the whole package
Yeah.
that with it now. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do
but see,
that.
if we're talking business or church or organization, you're gonna have a budget for things. So instead of saying, "Hey, I need to hire a person," the $20 goes to ChatGPT, or the money goes to DID, and then somebody learns how to do it. Once you learn how to do it once, you just like Fran said, you do the image, put it in, tell it this, that, and the other, and then there's the video for the week or however your schedule, however you're posting.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just make sure it's good content.
And it all goes back to the story you're telling, to
It could be a
the value.
podcast. If you're doing it right, you could take the
And
audio. It's a podcast.
11 Labs will turn your stuff into a podcast and add another announcer to you. I did it.
Mhm.
There you go.
Because over in the, let me show you. I'm like,
And
oh,
if you don't have 11 Labs, Google Google's Notebook LM
I was
will
about
do
to
it.
say Notebook.lm does the same thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
But
so
I don't
let
think
me.
you can change the voice of Notebook LM. I think it's just that those two voices. I think it's a male and female. But if you have 11 Labs, you can pick, your voices. So,
Oh, that's an
or
interesting
it could
point.
be your voice. It could be you.
Because
Right?
11 Labs, where is
But
it
the
over
the
here?
Google Notebook LM is just that you can't change. I don't think you can change the voice. I have to double check. They may change that later, but I think for now it's just the male voice and the female voice. But
So
it
I'm gonna
works.
tell you this: 11 Labs is only $5 a month.
Hmm.
Seriously. Um, okay, so search your projects. Did I? Anyway, I played with this.
Mhm.
I like playing in the sand.
Yeah, I think the Notebook LM. I don't think you don't get to choose the voice.
So 11 Labs has a studio, and you can create a podcast.
Hmm.
And
There
so
you
I
go.
can hit a podcast, and I can have a host voice and a guest voice.
Mm.
And you put two people in there. I don't know if I did this one already. Oh yeah, this is it. So I'm gonna play it
Oh,
because you
you've done
can't
it already.
see
Yeah,
it.
play it.
And where is the play button? Oh, down at the
At the
bottom.
bottom. I have not looked at this feature yet.
Living life on autopilot.
Okay.
It's what most of us do every single day. But research shows that 89% of people who actively design their daily schedules report significantly higher life satisfaction than those who don't.
That's fascinating and honestly a bit scary when you think about how many of us just drift through our days without
Mm.
intention. I was looking at my calendar this morning and had this realization.
Well, here's what's really interesting. Studies show we make about 35,000 decisions every day, but most of them are completely unconscious. We're basically running on a script we didn't even write.
Mm.
That reminds me of something I read about decision fatigue. By the end of the day, our willpower is so depleted that we're practically operating on default settings.
Exactly right. And that's where this concept of the 6 F's comes in: faith, family, fitness, fertilizer, finance, and fun. It's like a framework for making sure we're actually living the life we want, not just surviving it.
So, how do successful people actually implement this? Because it sounds great in theory.
Research from Harvard Business Review
Okay.
showed that executives who block out specific time
I
for
thought
these
I
core
stopped
areas
you.
are 2.5 times more likely to achieve their personal and professional.
Robot apocalypse.
Oh my gosh. And so you can create a podcast and they put the two people together. I mean, I had my voice already in there, and then I chose somebody else. I was like, what the?
And one note about 11 Labs, you cannot use somebody else's voice. You have to use your own when you make a custom voice, because you have to voice print. They do a voice print or voice match before they let you make a custom voice. So you cannot take Oprah or somebody.
Right.
Oh, I'm
No,
just
you
gonna sound
can't.
like no.
You're not gonna be able to sound like Oprah.
You have to do an authentication with your voice before they
Okay.
let you save that voice.
Well, in this day and age, you do, because there are lots of
Yeah.
thieves, crooks, and
Oh,
philanderers. So,
Do you remember when this came out? Remember, it was back in, I believe, 2015 or so, and we did a story about Adobe was able to clone somebody's voice, and we were like,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. When the deep fake of Obama and all. Yeah, so it is.
Yeah, but you can always hear. I got a workaround for the when they said live instead of live.
Mm-hmm.
The workaround is you got to put two V's in it.
Yeah, you gotta play with the words.
Yeah, you have to type the words differently,
Yeah,
or else it'll
to
say
get it to pronunciate different things. But again, that's one of the things that people aren't going. Oh, I'm just gonna let it mispronounce, like you were saying about the guy, the YouTube ad that he mispronounced the word. See, they just letting it go, and I'm like, if you're gonna really do this, you're gonna have to fine tooth comb it, and like Fran says, the workaround or the spacing, or you got to put you could put punctuation to change the spacing, or you can even just regenerate it, and it will regenerate and say it differently. So, but most people, they're just like copy and paste straight out of the box. We don't care. I'm like,
yeah. Have everybody had the Duncan Hines cake and you just be like, oh, this is not.
That is one of my pet peeves. I'm like, this is not homemade cake. Sorry.
And you
not
can
Duncan
tell.
Hines.
I can tell
because they'll just use water and oil from the cabinet instead of trying to doctor it up.
I grew up in a family of bakers. I know what a scratch from, because my aunt would do. I'm like, no, you can't fool me. No, ma'am.
But
I
this
mean,
is
you're
what
from
AI
South Carolina,
is.
so come on.
Right. Isn't this what AI is?
I can tell.
Home from scratch versus box cake. Now you can take a box cake and make it taste like home scratch cake, but you're gonna have to do some stuff to
See, the thing is,
TJ disagrees.
That when you got the flour, the sugar, you got like the 4 or 5 ingredients in your fridge already. Just measure it out.
It's the convenience thing. It goes back to the convenience.
If you got flour, sugar, and the eggs, there's salt.
Yeah, but it's convenient to pour it out the package into the bowl,
I can't. Again, this is the one like Dr. Chachi said. I'm from South. I know. Growing up on this was like from scratch.
It's like Jiffy cornbread. I was like,
okay. Now we getting.
now you're sending curses out.
Now we're getting into like no.
Yeah, that was Jiffy cornbread stuff. Anyway, Dr. Chachi, you have the floor.
Wow. How do you follow Jiffy cornbread? Anyway. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in media, tech, and pop culture. And I'm like, for those of you who don't know, Mediascope has moved to Friday evenings. I do it at 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Really?
now so many
All right.
people liked when I did After Dark that
Mhm.
I said, "Hey, would you like me to keep it like Friday nights?" And everybody said, I mean, overwhelmingly said yes. And this was a lot of people. It wasn't just I asked 2 people and said, "Okay, I'm changing." So that's what's happening. So this is kind of like now the test drive for tonight, providing I go on tonight because my that's why I'm not on camera. My upper back is killing me. And
Oh
in fact, I
no.
have I'm laughing at myself because remember in Coming to America when King Joffrey Jafar had the lion across his that
Yeah, yeah,
so that's what my heating pad looks like. And I've been saying all day, Akeem, because I look exactly like that right now.
Do you do, Dr. Chachi, do you do that live, the media scope?
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
all right, hold on. Because I was like, let me go and put it on my calendar.
Yes,
Mhm.
providing I go on tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Good, good.
hoping
Well,
that my back
I
eases
was
up.
thinking we could do a AI version of you.
Oh, and the people will be like, "Bye."
Yeah, they won't stick around for that.
When you're used to having something live, like, and
Yes.
I've even done it before where, I have because I couldn't be there, so I pre-recorded and then I was in the,
In the
comments.
chat, yeah.
No,
They're like, no, they
no,
don't.
they're like, "Where are you?" So, certain shows it works for, and then I don't know, but for Mediascope, the audience doesn't like that. They like it live or not at all.
Okay.
So,
Is it
And I
live
mean,
or
can you do
Memorex?
what you're doing now, and just so you can wear your heating pad?
yeah, they're not gonna like it.
Oh,
I already know they're not gonna like it.
okay.
Yeah, we
So
need to
I've
see
been
Dr. Chachi on screen, on camera,
With
and
all of
everything.
the facial expressions and things. I get it.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
well, if not tonight, then next Friday we will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if not tonight, I'll be back next Friday, and I would just push it to tomorrow. But I am going to see MJ the musical tomorrow. So
Ooh.
Really?
yes.
Okay.
My chapter of Delta, that's one of our things is arts and letters, and
Mhm.
we are going to. That's one of the arts and letters programs. We're going to see MJ the musical, and it's funny because when I'm in a different place also than where I usually broadcast, and so I'm always in front of a window, but now I'm in front of a window facing the backyard and there's an iguana. And if I wasn't live, I would go out and chase it off because I can't stand them. So let me just not look out the window so I don't get distracted by this ugly dinosaur lizard. Okay, so there's lots happening and lots going on. As you know, I gave you a little teaser of what was happening in what's the name? NAB in Vegas. That was last week. They ended. I think did they end to Wednesday? Wednesday they ended because I know a lot of my colleagues went back home on Wednesday. So there are lots of things that came about there, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about this first story. This is really interesting. It's a music story. And did you guys ever hear of the Rock Nation School?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Rock Nation, as you know, is Jay-Z's label and thing
Ah,
universe. Let's just
okay.
call it the Jay-Z universe, okay? And the Rock Nation School of Music is in Brooklyn, and it's backed by Jay-Z. And
Mhm.
now this is and it's together. It's a partnership actually between LIU. For those of you who don't know, that's Long Island University, the Brooklyn campus, and Rock Nation. And
Okay.
this program actually offered students the opportunity to study music debt free. That was their thing, debt free
Mm.
through the Hope Scholarship. How the hell ever, now it's come out that there are several students who enrolled in the Rock Nation School of Music uh, that owe thousands of dollars in debt despite the initial offering that was promising them a quote debt-free education. So
Mm.
according to Blavity, at least 12 students have come out and said that they've incurred student debt after they enrolled in the inaugural program in 2021, and that's according to
Mm.
Gothamist.
Oh.
So the inaugural class, like I said, was 2021, and the big thing, I'm going to say this again, debit free, DEBT, debit free. Apparently, it may not have been. So, LIU president wrote, one of the students came out and shared a letter or that was given to her in 2021. It was like, quote, I tried to reach you by phone. Rock Nation School at LIU is awarding you a full tuition scholarship. You will receive full tuition and be able to graduate without debt. And it was signed by LIU president Kimberly Klein at the time. So Justice, I don't know if she is Justice is a man or a woman. I'm not sure, but Justice accepted the offer and was thinking it may be too good to be true. They said, I remember just being generally conflicted about school, and then coming across this school made me feel a little sense of security. It was a full scholarship immediately. It was a music school, which was iconic and the dream, and Jay-Z is involved. So, but the email was an email, didn't mention additional costs to attend the program. The tuition at LIU Brooklyn is $40,000. Housing, meal plans, health insurance, and full-time university fees cost an additional $22,000. So they at least 12 students are in this situation. It's saying that they owe between $5,000 and $39,000, and they realized after that they had to cover the fees and the housing. And some people, according to the article, relied on couch surfing, or they even dropped out of school or transferred to another institution. And in several instances, they said they were told to take out student loans in order to cover the rest of their education at LIU. So, one student, Ajaya Thomas, transferred after seeing 19,000 in unexpected charges from the university. And then another student eventually took out loans to pay 22,000 that she owes to LIU. So, this is the interesting thing. Students say that the Rock Nation School did not deliver what they promised. And it was supposed to include things like guest lectures from artists like Rihanna, DJ Khaled, and the Jonas Brothers. And the names were advertised, they say, but they never showed up to the school. Also, and if there needed to be a cherry on top, here it is. They said that during the first year of the program, the students had to build their own recording studio because of the lack of facilities for their program.
What?
Now, I am not a student
why
there,
am I
nor am I
going there?
faculty there. I don't know. I don't know what's what. Again, we have this article. We don't know the full story. I mean, the story is here, but and not to blame the students, because obviously if you're there and you're paying money, you want to know. So I'm thinking a couple of things, and I'm saying this as a college professor now. Sometimes students don't read, sometimes students don't listen.
Right.
And I've seen students before, like, now you see clear as day it said that. And if these are younger students, and not to blame like Gen Z and Gen Alpha all the time, but again, they grew up not having to do anything for themselves, including read. And if you come from a background where you don't have family that has gone to college, for example, where they can kind of guide you in that, you just go with whatever, right? So that's on one end. It could be a failure to clearly understand what was included in there. So, for example, like, I had remission of tuition when I was in the PhD program, which means I didn't have to pay tuition, but I did have to pay fees.
Right.
Because that did not cover the fees. It didn't cover my rent either. Which means that if I had stayed in the student housing for graduate students, I would have had to pay. So I got remission of tuition, and I did get a stipend, but they weren't paying for the fees. So I'm thinking that there could be a lack of communication. I won't say that, but a lack of understanding, right? When it comes to that. So it could be that. But the LIU chief uh, marketing chief, I should say, chief marketing official, Jackie Nealon said this, that quote, upon admission to the university, Hope Scholarship recipients receive an offer letter from the university that outlines the full tuition scholarship and any obligations. The offer letter also expressly includes that neither university fees nor housing costs are included in the scholarship. So again, we have two sides there. It will be very intriguing to see how this is handled. But, and I'm not taking anybody's side here, but the university should probably have in whatever letter, because now the Gothamist has seen the letter and they don't have that outlined, right?
Mhm.
So you shouldn't wait until a student gets ready and there to let them know that this is the case. But then, on the other hand, did you read, student? So, thoughts?
Yeah.
I I mean, I love the last part that you put on about maybe they didn't read, or there's two sides of this and we've just gotten to one side. Because had there been a response from
Well,
the
they said that's what
school,
I've
or
just read, that
yeah,
that
okay,
in the letter, that once they get there, whatever,
Mhm.
they're told explicitly that it doesn't say
okay,
this, but yeah, so we kind of do have both sides, but it's and again, this is 12 students that have said this. If this was like dozens and dozens of students, perhaps I'd be like, yeah, your communication needs to be clearer so that they
mhm,
understand this. But I think that this is a lack of understanding when it comes to these types of
okay,
things, more than somebody was trying to fool, because who wants to mess with their good name like that?
true,
Yeah. So, and now I didn't go all the way through college, but I do know that, and then like orientation day, when you go and they said, okay, you're going to need to do okay, and maybe they weren't paying attention then either, but
There is orientation, but generally orientation doesn't deal with the financial end of it.
mm,
It generally
okay,
deals with the what you need for XYZ. Sometimes there's like a parent orientation that they talk about it then, but often you could get all the way through and not understand the financial obligation, which is why this is sometimes so dangerous, and I keep saying this for people who, there are so many people I know who just want to become Dr. Such and such. And I'm not faulting you for that, but I am faulting you for now you didn't understand the obligation and what is not given to you, and now you're mad.
mhm,
So I can already tell you, you're not promised a job just because you have a PhD. Just because
right,
you have a PhD doesn't mean you're going to be able to teach at the tenure track institution of your choice, or even be hired or
right.
looked at for that. So you go and get any PhD, you want to teach nuclear physics, and then you go and get a PhD from the School of Education. It's not the same thing. So I'll say this, that schools are often not transparent enough because they're also a business
right, right. They're a business,
and they're trying to make money and they want you to enroll. So I see fault on both ends, even though we don't know the entire extended story. I do see where there could be fault and misunderstandings on both ends.
okay,
So
Yeah.
this will just teach LIU, listen, you have to have more clarity in what you said, and you have to say it explicitly. You can't do the low context. Well, they understand that they're going to have to pay fee. They don't. They don't.
you have to be very clear.
You have to be very
Very.
clear. And then students, you also need to read. How about that?
That's true. There's not a lot of reading going on. It's
No.
a lot of TLDR.
Exactly,
They
Right.
exactly.
love that. They love TLDR. Joe, I'm like, can you please read?
Can
Don't
you go read a
headline.
book?
Don't
Please?
headline read.
Exactly. So that I found that interesting, and so that's what I want to start off with. But let's get into the Oscars. Finally, the Film Academy has established a stunt design award, and it's going to be presented at the 100th Oscars, which will be honoring films that were released in 2027. So we have a couple of years yet before we see this. But the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced the establishment of this award. And they said this, or Academy CEO Bill Kramer and President Janet Yang said this in a statement. Since the early days of cinema, stunt design has been an integral part of filmmaking. We are proud to honor the innovative work of these technical and creative artists, and we congratulate them for their commitment and dedication in reaching this momentous occasion. So, what are the rules? They're going to be announced in 2027, such as, for example, uh, and also the specifics of the awards presentation will be announced. So the board of governors will come to a decision on that. So to this date, there have only been two performers who have been stunt performers rather who have been awarded Oscar statues, but both were honorary. Yakima Canute in 1966 and Hal Needham in 2012. There are more than 100 stunt professionals who are currently members of the Academy's production and technology branch. And they got invited as this became a growing sector. But this is interesting. Stunts are the hallmark of Hollywood films, right?
Hmm.
So it's interesting that it's only now that stunt design is going to be included. I would have thought, because I don't think about it, this is one of the awards that's awarded during the events we don't see, right?
Right.
During the technology part of it, the technology Oscars. So most of us would not have known about it. I didn't realize. So, well, congratulations, stunt designers.
Congrats.
Yeah, good for you.
Yay.
Absolutely. All right. So now let me talk about NAB. Now, there was a big elephant in the room at NAB. Can you guess what that was?
What?
The tariffs.
Ah,
No.
Okay.
darn tariffs.
Listen, so if you think you're exempt, if you've ever written with a pen or pencil, you are not. Okay, because let's look at it. Let's look at things in components. So it's not just about the thing. It's not just about the fact that you signed this piece of paper or you were able to write on this piece of paper. Where's that paper made?
Mm,
Where's the metal coil inside your pen? Where
Mm.
does the metal come from? Okay. I saw something that was talking about a pencil and all of the component, the rubber for the eraser comes from someplace else. The metal
the
that
lead. Mhm.
attention comes from someplace else. Right. The graphite comes from someplace else. The wood is probably from Canada. Okay. So it's like I can look around where I am now. I don't think anything that I have was produced in the US.
A whole bunch of people about to wake up and find
Yeah, the FAFO is real.
FAFO, and they're like, I didn't know. Now you know. Mm.
Now you know. So, when we look at our industry, when we look at
Mhm.
media, let's just talk about the production end of it.
Oh my.
Okay, so even if things are made here, let's just talk about Apple. Let's talk about iPhone. And you say, okay, well, I'm just going to produce my next project with an iPhone. Lots of people do this every day, right? Because if you're a content creator and you use an iPhone, you may be shooting your stuff on your phone, editing on your phone. Well, let's look at this. Now, if you look at a box for an iPhone, what does it say on it?
Made in
Uh,
China.
It does. Made in China, and what is it? Crafted in America?
in
Something like that.
California. It's crafted in California.
Right.
Or, yeah, designed in California.
Designed right. So it's like made in China, designed in California. So even if the thing is assembled here, where do the components come from? Where does
China.
All around the world.
Yeah, because,
Exactly.
yeah, everywhere.
So you
China.
can't say that you're a content creator and this doesn't affect you, my friend. Au contraire, mon frère. Okay, it definitely affects you. So if you look at the things, and I keep thinking about the content creators, for example, that fashion. Okay,
Mm.
so
Oh boy, fashion. Oh my goodness.
fashion across the board, very little of it is made here. Look at what you have on now.
I
Mhm.
can't. I mean, this is another thing of they don't look at labels. They don't look at the things that come with the packaging when they buy it. That's the
Who
stuff
is
Exactly.
they throw
they?
away and they don't look. It's
Mhm.
clearly marked.
Clearly marked.
Well,
Clearly marked. Made in China, made in Vietnam, made in Bangladesh.
I see. I already know. I look at the stuff. I'm like, oh, let me see. I look at the label. Look at this. I look at that. But again, people don't do that because you buy the stuff and oh, the packaging. They don't care about that. And I'm like, that has information on it. A label is
Exactly. Well,
there
even
for a
the
information
reason.
on them. I
packaging.
love it.
Even the packaging.
The packaging, the label, everything, it has information on it by our government because it has to be there by law.
Exactly. And even the packaging is often made someplace else. So if you look at all of that, even just from a production standpoint in the media industries, that really just the production standpoint, just the equipment needed for production,
Mhm.
much of what we use is produced someplace else. So now if you're
Mhm.
putting tariffs on these things, we've already said that it's not the other country that pays for the tariff. It's the company that pays for the tariff. And then God forbid, so now there is I think it's walked back now, but the initial thing was 104% tariff on things from China. Great.
I
Everything
think
there's
it's 125 today.
is
Did
it
they
today
walk?
125? Great. So it just keeps going up. So let's
Wow.
say it's 125% now on things from China. Wonderful. So it's not you. I mean, it's not the other country that does that. No, it is you as a consumer through the company that gets. So they import it, right? They use it, but now I have to charge you so much more for this. So this is why they're saying, these iPhones, the starting iPhone could go up to like something like $3,000
Or more.
or more. I don't know about you,
I'll
but
be
that
holding
Motorola Razr flip phone is looking really good right about now.
I'm going to take real
the
good
one.
care of my phone. I'm going to treat it like it's
Yep,
new.
because the one I got does everything I needed to do. I shall not be buying another one.
Nope.
Did anybody think to? Did nobody thought this through, right? Because if
It's
the
not.
tax,
The problem is it's not settled on by a group. It has been settled on by an individual. And
Right.
so, and they don't have the power to take away their authority to
Right.
keep waking up every day and deciding, I like this number. The other concern that you need to be concerned about, Dr. Tachi, is that because we have offended them, they have now put the same number on our imports.
Yes.
Mhm. Indeed. But let's look at this. How much do we import from them versus
Very,
how much they import from us?
very little.
There's nothing let's just be clear. There's nothing that we make that they 100% need because there are also other trading partners that they have. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to
Other
be you,
countries.
which they're like, "We don't need you." Okay,
Other
This is
countries.
200%,
this
no
is the
problem.
problem because they have opened up their doors in the EU to electric cars from China.
And
They
Mhm.
that
don't they don't
Chinese
need our
electric
cars.
car swims circles around the Tesla.
And exactly. And they can get parts.
They could get parts very easily. My sister took a picture. She lives in Malaysia. She took a picture of it. They have a lot of those Chinese electric cars there. A lot of Chinese people live in Malaysia.
Mhm.
So there's Chinese code. They celebrate Chinese New Year and all of that. So it's there. And if you want to talk about having that part of the world, having that market, they don't need you, especially if you're going to sit and offend people. Listen, I think we need to realize nobody has to deal with you.
Nope.
Yes, you have managed to grow your economy quite a bit, albeit on the backs of other people, but you have. Okay. You have managed to do some things. The standard of living for some people here is very good,
Mhm.
but um, it's not for everyone. Some people would fare better elsewhere. So you have to realize that you're not the only game in town, and people don't have to trade with you. You're not as shiny as you're like, okay, this is a good example. I have terrazzo floors, which for those of you who don't know what terrazzo is, it is cement that is mixed with marble chips and granite, and so it's like instead of having like all marble floors, what they did is they mixed remnants of these stones with cement to make a beautiful pebbled floor. So all my entire house is terrazzo. And a lot of older homes in Florida are that. So the person who lived here before, the guy was like, do you want me to do the floors? He was like, oh, well, it's just too expensive. Just put the coat over it, right? Just the thing. That doesn't last. You have to like redo the floors for it to remain shiny and clean. Like, so that's what you not like rebuff and refinish, but he just wanted a quick fix, right? So that's what this is. Quick fix. You want the full experience. You want the floors fully done, right? Not just a quick band-aid fix over all of this. So whatever you're doing is just lickety split quick. It's not lasting. And I think this is what people need to realize. So I'm bringing this up to say that this was all the talk at NAB. There were lots of things that were there, but if we look at for example, you go on the show floor and you see all the equipment and things that are there, the components are made someplace else. So the price that it is there today on the show floor is not the price that it will always be. So, or may not be the price that it is when it comes up for sale.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have one more story for you because I know we are coming close to time. And so let me just let you know that, okay, so with Vimeo has I'm sure we all know Vimeo, and we knew Vimeo as the alternative, quote, YouTube alternative, right? It was more of the artsy YouTube alternative. But they are now they've come up with a new product that is letting creators build and monetize their own streaming, right? So it's called video streaming, Vimeo streaming, and it's they've attracted I guess about 13 million subscribers, and it's interesting. So they've had something like this before, but they're now releasing it specifically for creators. It seems like it's something that has been repackaged. So I actually reached out to get some more information. I haven't heard back yet from them, but I'm interested to see what that's about. So that's what I have for you all today. I have more, but I'm like, let's move on.
No worries. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and then I'm gonna let the little AI people do the work on the way out, and we will see you next weekend.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for joining us today for Tech Life Weekly. We'd like to invite you to join the BizChicks community. You can text BIZ to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net. However you connect, we welcome you. Remember, we're here to help take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. We'll see you next week.